Welcome to KMET 1490 AM ABC News Radio and the Southern California Business Report with Yvette Walker, a show dedicated to highlighting successful Southern California businesses and the people behind them.
Welcome and thank you for joining Southern California Business Report on ABC News and Talks, KMET 1490 AM, 98.1 FM, and KMET TV. I'm Yvette Walker, live blasting our signal from the center of Southern California, serving a population of over 25 million. Get us crystal clear and on demand by downloading the free live streaming app on Google Play and the Apple App Store. As always, a huge shout out to the team, Mitch, Bill, and Sean. I love you guys. And to our special advisory committee that can be found at www.scbrtalk.com/advisory committee. Go follow that link and learn about the amazing leaders doing the work. Okay, everybody, I have the distinct honor to introduce today Amy Scruggs, who has been known in the country music industry for more than 15 years and has opened for many artists, including Clint Black, Trace Adkins, Charlie Daniels, Phil Vassar, Little Texas, and many more. She was the spokesperson for the American Veterans of California, performing at veteran and military events throughout the state. Amy's live show is with her band, the Ghostriders, which is led by her talented son, Ryan Scruggs, who has performed and toured by her side as lead guitar since he was 18. Thank you so much for being with us here today, Amy.
Such an honor to be with you. I have been really looking forward to this.
I know we've been talking about this for a long time, and I couldn't have thought of a better way to close out the year than to talk about your inspiring story and your remarkable song that has topped charts around the world. So we'll start with the first question. As you know, the first question I ask every one of my guests is to please talk about your journey and what inspired you to pursue a life in becoming a country music artist.
You know, the funny part to answer the country music part is that my last name is Scruggs. It chose me. I think there's no way I could have chosen a different genre, even if I wanted to, with the last name of Scruggs. So we can get to that as well. But I instinctively knew. Apparently, my family told me they found me playing the piano by ear at 3 years old. We were at someone's house. I climbed up on a piano bench and was playing a song at 3. I already started singing at that time as well. By the time I was 5, I would be the one on the fireplace practicing my shows. And it was just, music was in me and I couldn't even explain it yet. I couldn't verbalize how this was in there. By the time I was 8, I was already putting on performances in the backyard and charging the neighborhood.
Wow.
I realized there's a business in this. I can make money. I mean, I think I was charging a nickel, but that was a lot at that time. We're talking about the 70s at this point. So I was charging neighbors and putting on shows and making my friends be backup dancers. And I just instinctively knew this is what I'm supposed to do. I've been practicing the national anthem since I was a little girl, knowing that I wanted to honor the military and veterans. And so it started there. And it was always the dream at the core. And then life has a funny way of taking a lot of twists and turns, but it always led back to the music. And I think that's the fun part that we're going to get to discuss today, is how no matter what happens, it kept coming back to the music. And even to what we're going to discuss with the current music, it's just mind-boggling, because I think sometimes there's just a calling on our life, or there's something we're just supposed to do. Even if we ditch it, abandon it, abuse it, step on it, kick it, it comes back. And that is my story.
I love it. And so, you know, the band that you developed alongside your son as lead guitarist, Ryan, is the Ghostriders. Can you talk about the musical style and maybe how it's evolved over the years?
Oh gosh, the Ghostriders really did evolve. And I have to give a shout out, because the amount of musicians that I've worked with over the years, it didn't start with the Ghostriders. It started with talented musicians even when I was younger, singing in church bands, singing in community bands, and all over Southern California, doing concerts in the park with the Silverados. And they are still out there. If anybody has seen the Silverados, I used to be their front person and their lead singer, because they're still out there doing all the concerts at the park and a lot of great community work. And I was with them 20 some odd years ago.
Wow.
And then in Nashville in 2004, when I made that first track and started recording music, I didn't have a band put together together yet. I was still with the Silverados. And it was in '07 that I realized I need some musicians. And so I had some a wonderful group of guys come together and agree to be my musicians. And we literally, you want to talk about a garage band putting together, because this is the time of the recession, 2007, 2008. Mm-hmm. And I had a full-time career in the mortgage industry, and that clearly disappeared because the recession hit. And that's when I knew that the music needed to come to the forefront. So the first group of guys were just a wonderful group of all retired guys. And so we called them the Vintage Cowboys, because they were all vintage. And they started with me. They were the ones with me with that first show with Clint Black. At that time, my son Ryan was still younger, but he started as a roadie with them. He started as a guitar tech. He was working with these guys and watching and learning and observing and still going with us. And then in 2009, the song that came to me was called Coming Home, as we were honoring a lot of the troops, and it was our theme song for the AMVETS at the time. And the writer of that song was an amazing musician, Dave Adams, still a dear friend of mine. So Dave then partnered with me for the next couple years, and he's the one that brought Ryan really up the wings into being alongside him. And Dave really taught him some ropes on how to lead. And then in 2011 is when, and Dave had a rockin' sound. Oh, he would do Zeppelin and I would do rock and stuff. And we really put together this eclectic show that we were out doing for the military and veteran community. And I realized that that rocker side of me was so important. Growing up in the 80s, even listening to rock music has been a huge foundation, as well as country, but I'm not a twangy country girl. So I wanted to blend that. 2011, Dave went on to pursue other projects, and that's when Ryan stepped in. By this time, he's about 19, 20, and we put together the Ghostriders, because the song The Ghostriders is one of my favorite songs to perform. It's from 1942, the Yippee-Ki-Yay, Yippee-Ki-Yo.
Yes.
That has been one of the songs that has been with me even through the Vintage Cowboys with Dave Adams when we were Scruggs and Adams, and then on into the Ghostriders. And I realized that's the song, because it really identified that I love the core of country music, but I have such a rocking edge to me, even though I can knock out a ballad. And the Carmi, Brian, and we had Fred. It was Carmi, Brian, and Ryan. And Fred was our bass player. And we lost him in 2011, right after one of our big shows, to a heart attack. And he was only 40. So that really devastated us there. And then we had Aaron Lawler step in and become our new bass player. And we've done some great shows together. So that's the history. The musicians that have come and gone and worked with me. I've had musicians quit while on tour, fly me home. I mean, it's been such a thing to find those people. Billy Prue, my goodness, he's out there in the Ontario area. He's still a musician that's playing all over. And he is so talented and such a core part of my sound, with that bluegrass sound and his banjo and dobro playing. So they have influenced my sound. Every one of these amazing musicians influenced my sound all along the way to lead up to what the Ghostriders do.
Oh, I love it. And so, seeing as your son Ryan joined the group and now you guys perform as a duo, talk about the unique dynamics you bring to performances and collaborations.
I had no idea it would evolve into what it did, because it's funny, when he started playing at 13, he said, I will never play for you. Don't even think it. I won't play country music, and I'll never play for you. And then the rest is history. Never say you're never going to do something, right? So there was an edge there as we started melding and figuring out music. And at first he was under Dave Adams and under those other artists. And so he was learning that way. But once it was just the two of us now leading, we would butt heads on the sound list, on the key, on the tone. And we had to realize that at that point, I was no longer mom and he was no longer son. We came to an agreement that when we were in that rehearsal room or we were putting music together, we were colleagues. And we respected each other for our creative opinions. And that's when the magic started to happen, because we know we had to remove that mother-son issue. But then when we get back on stage and we're live, you can see it. I can't describe it, but there's something magical that's different when he performs for me than any other musician I've ever been with. And I think that's where the mother-son and the DNA does come in. Because if I so much as move my earlobe or blink an eye, he knows what I mean. He knows I'm telling him to slow down or maybe wait because I've forgotten the lyrics and I need another measure to come back in. I mean, because that happens all the time. And he knows how to follow me when I goof up, when I'm ready to laugh. If there's something, he can make those adjustments. And the same is that I know right when he's going to strike that right chord. And I'll wait and breathe, maybe just that extra half a second to come right in on perfect timing with him. And I do believe that that is that bond there that we have. And it's nothing short of magical. It's the only way I can describe it.
Absolutely. And I had the honor and privilege of watching you both perform at a recent Rotary conference. It was a district conference where hundreds of local and regional Rotarians came out, and you and your son performed. And my goodness, it was like the two became one. The synchronicity and the timing and just the movement and the notes.
The lyrics. It was all there.
Nobody noticed any forgotten lyrics until you just said it, Amy. But yes, I mean, it was just so beautiful to watch.
Thank you. It's really a special thing. And, I have 4 kids. So the other 3, watching that evolve, I think that was really amazing that they were able to embrace that and love us and enjoy it. They toured with us. It was a whole family affair, but they allowed Ryan to hold that special place with me. And I can't imagine performing without him. I just don't think I could. If you told me that he was gone and I had to just put together another band and continue performing without him, and I have stood in with other bands and I perform in Palm Springs with jazz bands and different things, but he's my anchor with that. And I couldn't be me without him.
Absolutely. So, Amy, talk about some of the biggest challenges you face as a country music artist in today's industry.
Number 1 is being a woman. My goodness. And I know everybody's probably tired of hearing that, but being a female, and I'll give this away, being a 50-year-old female in today's music. I mean, once I was 30, I was past my prime. And then in Nashville, they were already saying I was too old. And so to be in this space as a mature, middle-aged, as you would call me, woman with grown kids, but I feel so strongly that has encouraged and inspired other young women, because I know that there's that mindset. You've got to be that youth and beautiful. And I get it. But great talent and great music is still great music, and never give up on that dream. And I know we're going to probably tap into that more, but for me, it was, I think the biggest challenge has been a woman. It's been a man's world. Even if you look at the country charts, it's all men and then you get a woman. I mean, it always. You listen to radio and country music, it's so many. And then you get your handful of women. We're going, yay, Casey Musgrave. Yay, way to go, Kelsey Ballerini. And thank goodness we still have Carrie Underwood. But we can name on our hands those 5 or 6, whereas you look at the male artists and it's 10 pages deep. And that's always been the case with country music. Women have really had to forge their way through. And I've listened to it my entire life. And when I was little, I wanted to be Barbara Mandrell when I grew up. That's what I wanted to be. And I hope that if for some reason Barbara has heard my music and knows that I'm here and heard one of my interviews, that I'm saying thank you for being a pioneer for so many, like Dolly Parton and Winona Judd and Martina McBride and just Jody Messina, so many amazing women that paved the way. And I hope that I now have a seat in that of saying, I'm a woman that can pave the way and push through and persevere.
Right. I love it. I love how you just laid it all out. And so as a mother of 4, pursuing this career in your 30s, please talk about how you were able to balance your personal life with the demands of a music career up to today.
That was insane. I say it is not for the weak. You have to have a little bit of crazy in here to say we can do this, to go on tour with the car seat in the car and having the kids helping. But at the time, again, it was in the recession. So going on tour and performing was a necessity. The job that I had that was my larger career at the time, it disappeared. But I had this talent. I had the business skills. I took the same sales skills and went out and asked for the business and ran it as a business the same way I did in wholesale mortgage all those years. And I think that was where I was making that defining moment to also help the kids understand we were running this as a business. And we made it fun. And I also made decisions that with the children, I wasn't going to sing in clubs or places like that. We did family events, the fairgrounds, the festivals, the big shows. We purposely put ourselves in places, a lot of military and veteran events. And what an amazing thing to model to my kids. What an amazing experience for them to have. We still talk about today that we did do it together. And they were so kind. And they may recite some different memories that was really hard. I know that some of them can remember some really tough experiences where we were needing to sing at the next show to buy food for dinner that night. We, like Jody Messina says, singing for my rent and singing for my supper, because that's what we were doing. And the kids were very gracious and they helped with everything. They'd watch their sister while Mom and Ryan were performing, and we made it happen. We made it happen. And I think there's a bond there with all four of them that is indescribable.
What a beautiful memory. What a beautiful testament to what can happen when you pull your family together. Everyone gets on the same page and you're all after the same goal, right? Like you said, some performances were there because you needed dinner for the evening and, during the recession and traveling and singing. Gosh, what an amazing experience that must have been.
220,000 miles on that Suburban. It needs to be in a shrine somewhere. It was amazing. We did it. I think there's probably still a band member in there somewhere that we forgot about, but we did it.
I love it. So talk about one of the most memorable moments you've experienced on stage together.
Oh, that's a tough one because there's the polar extremes that we've had. There were so many incredible experiences with our military and veteran community that there were no cameras, no record of it, right? Except for maybe an old photo I have on an old hard drive. No media out there. But these were warriors just coming home, deployment ceremonies as I'm singing to families saying goodbye to their loved ones, command change ceremonies. The VA hospital, Ryan and I would go every year and sing at the Paralyzed Veterans Unit, and we'd go bed to bed. So again, there's no audience, there's no record, but it changed us from the inside out. On the flip side, I felt like those big stages, the moment of a sold out show for Trace Adkins, when we're standing there together going, wow, it felt like a reward, like the dessert after the meal, right? It's the treat. And that's what that was for us, that we would go, oh my gosh, look what we're doing right now. This is unbelievable. This is what we've practiced for. But those moments at the VA hospital were just as powerful. And so those two extremes, I think, helped make us better performers. I think it helped us be more approachable as artists. I think it helped craft the passion in our music and our bond with each other.
That is amazing. So the reason why we're here, and one of the most popular songs that you have performed is What If It All Goes Right? Please talk about how you came across that song and tell us about the first time you performed it.
Oh my goodness, that song is such a blessing and was such a miracle. So fast forward now into COVID, and as you just heard, I've been through the recession. So COVID hit. I said, this is not my first rodeo. We have gone through this before, so now what? And it was interesting. I hadn't performed or recorded in quite some time. I had been hosting television and working on my other projects and still performing. I did some great shows. I've opened for Chubby Checker and Frankie Avalon in the last couple years and Tony Orlando. And that was just me at the piano and some other great shows with Ryan, but hadn't had a chance to really do anything major or release new music. And in 2021, I got a call from Nashville that said, would you like to finally record your dream project? See, all the musicians were home. The producers were home. Nobody was out touring. And so I had one of the greatest producers of all time, Fred Mullen, say yes to me during the pandemic. And so we started the song search. My A&R rep, James Ray in Nashville, he's been part of my life for 20 years now. And I just can't even imagine. He's so special. James said, I'll start the song search. And he reached out to all the publishers. And about 1,000 songs came in for us to pick 5 for an EP project. So James was shuffling through those. He would send me the ones that he felt that I really wanted to hear. And I got an email one day that had a list of 20 songs and MP3s in it. And I saw the title, What If It All Goes Right? And I said, that's my song. That is it. I haven't even heard it yet. It could be a polka for all I know, but we are going to change it and make it work. And I listened. I said, yeah, this is it. Oh my goodness. Because it's everything that I've been about when everything fell apart. All the times, how are you going to go on tour with kids? How are you going to do this? Well, it's going to go right. We're going to make it happen. We're going to do this. It's okay. What if? What if it works? And I've been saying that through all the various journeys and components. I mean, even when we lost Fred when he died, but what if this is a blessing and we all needed a break and we're still going to be okay and we're going to honor him in the work we do ahead? And so what if it all goes right? Just was incredible. But the first time I performed it was standing in that recording studio in Nashville, Tennessee. So I'd only had the demo, had to work it out myself in my head and practicing in the hotel room. When we got to Nashville, got in the studio and those musicians sat down and Fred was in the middle, like just orchestrating with the big headphones on and the giant stick in the air ready to conduct. He goes, let's do the first run through. And we did a run through. And I'm telling you, you could feel the goosebumps on every arm. And Fred took off his headphones. He goes, oh my God, everybody, that's a hit. It was just something magical that happened. And for that to be the first time I actually sang it, and with some of the greatest musicians that Nashville has to offer, with one of the most legendary producers, this magical room at that studio, I knew it. That was the moment I had been waiting for my entire life. That was the moment that I feel was the blessing after all the hard times on the road, or the times we couldn't eat, or the times that people told me to get a real job and all the loss. That was it. And I knew from that moment that that song was going to continue blessing lives from here forward.
So talk about, some of the lyrics of What If It All Goes Right and how that resonated with your life and your experience on the road, with 4 kids in tow, one even in a carrier, right? So tell us about the theme and the concepts that really resonated with you.
I love how it starts because the lyrics at the beginning give all the what if downs, as I like to call it. Well, what if that road you're taking is a dead end? What if the love breaks? What if the tree you're climbing out on breaks, right? That limb you're climbing it out on breaks. So it describes all those things that could go wrong. What if it doesn't work? But what if it all goes right? And then the second verse comes in and says, what if that tree holds you oak tree strong? So the limb doesn't break, but it holds you up. What if that love ends up lasting a lifetime? What if that road is just a beautiful, long, slow drive? And so it just brings this visual to life of these things that we what if down. Oh my God, what if this happens? And what if this happens? And we all have a tendency to do it. And it makes you go, but wait a minute. What if that ends up being the best blessing that ever happened? What if this loss is teaching me something? What if this grief is going to make me stronger to help empower others? And it was just that theme. And at a time during COVID, it was also, I felt such an inspiration in a time of hope. What if we come out of this better? What if we come out of this maybe more loving as a society? What if we can be kinder to each other? And I just felt that the timing of this song finding me, if it had found me 10 years earlier, I would have screwed it up. It was not the time for me to have that song. It was the song I dreamed of since I was 3. And I knew that it was meant for me. And we're still here talking about it today. And I am so grateful.
That is remarkable. So, Amy, tell us how you felt when you saw your song topping charts worldwide and claiming spots on lists such as the New York Times 2022 Best Summer Playlist.
It was, again, being I was 49. So being almost 50 at the time, saying, I finally got on the charts after all these years. I'm seeing it at 49. Yes, this is incredible. But what was so cool, and as I share about the kids a lot, but my youngest, the one that was in the car seat, graduated high school the day the song charted on Music Row. That day, I got the notice that it went on the charts the day that she was graduating. And I felt like it was this beautiful full circle that we stopped touring so that she could have that normal life and go to school and accomplish the things she needs to. And she needed to not be touring and go through school. And here it happens right as she finishes. And then a couple months later, I found out on accident about the New York Times playlist. I got an email from a host of a podcast I had been on a few months before that saw the notice come in from the New York Times and said, have you seen this? And he sent it to me. I had no idea. I don't even know how it got there. Thank you to whoever put it there. Thank you to whoever heard it and sent it in. I still to this day don't know. But all of a sudden my streams went through the roof overnight. as I made this New York Times playlist, and I've watched it chart in Australia, and I've had stations from all over the world that I've been interviewing with that are still playing the song, that have been blessed by it. It did well in the UK, and I just watched this happen as it took a life of its own. I didn't force it. And I think it was that waiting and that patience and that maturity to just say, if this song is supposed to bless lives, it's going to. And yes, of course, as a marketing professional, I'm going to do those things to put it out there. However, it has blessed lives and taken a life of its own. It's used with Rotary all the time. The veterans have taken a hold of it. It's a theme song to several podcasts. I'm now on a nonprofit called whatifup.org, and I'm the executive director. I mean, this anthem of what if has become the theme of my life since then.
And I love that, the what if up versus the what if down, which is how the song starts, right? It's just, and I love how it's, superimposed one against the other, starting off, what if all these things do go wrong? Because as humans, I think we tend to look at, the what ifs in a bad frame, right? In a bad perspective of, gosh, the what if down moments, gosh, what if it breaks? What if something happens? What if things go wrong? But I think it's important that we program and look at things from a what if up perspective, as you mentioned. So we're going to go on break now, Amy, and everybody listening, Yvette Walker with ABC News and Talk, Southern California Business Report, here today with Amy Scruggs, known in the country music industry for more than 15 years and has opened for many artists, including Clint Black, Trace Adkins, Charlie Daniels, Phil Vassar, Little Texas, and many more. Today, we're going to be hearing her new single released in 2022, What If It All Goes Right? Played on the radio worldwide and number 66 on the Music Row charts and was selected for the New York Times Summer 2022 playlist when we return.
Hi, I'm Dana Rademacher with MGR Property Management.
A lot of people wonder about the value that property management has for their property. Property management can include all property types, including residential, commercial, and HOA. It is valuable because property managers are experienced in what can happen at your property. We're aware of liabilities. We're able to do predictive and preventative maintenance. We know what is coming up with the changes in the weather, the seasons, how old certain aspects or different capital projects at your property are. We're able to best negotiate contract pricing, legalities with your tenants, and anything else that you may need to ensure that you're getting the full value of your property. If you're interested in speaking with the representative at MGR Property Management regarding your property management needs, you can visit our website at mgrrealestate.com, or you can call our number at area code 909-581-6600 to be connected with the representative.
The University of La Verne is rated first in California for alumni satisfaction. Learn more about accelerated programs offered online and on campus in La Verne, Irvine, Ontario, Burbank, or College of the Canyons. Visit go.laverne.edu. The University of La Verne. go.laverne.edu. Ontario International Airport is onto a better way to fly with over 65 daily non-stop flights to more than 20 major destinations and the easiest airport experience in Southern California. Visit flyonto.com/Ontario to learn more about Ontario International Airport today.
Hi, I'm San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dykes. If you're looking to start an exciting career in law enforcement and make a difference in your community, we are hiring dispatchers, nurses, deputies, laterals, and many more. For a complete list of our jobs and more information, visit sheriffsjobs.com.
Hi, Ray Lance from the Diamond Center in the Claremont Village here. One of the coolest parts of a third-generation family business is getting to know the families we serve through generations. Once you experience our friendly service, our fair and transparent pricing, and our beautiful jewelry that we make to last a lifetime, you'll stick with us too. Come visit us in the Claremont Village or at Lantz, L-A-N-T-Z, diamondcenter.com and see what makes us different.
Cal State San Bernardino is home to the only School of Entrepreneurship in California, With globally ranked degree programs, you can start your journey today to become a successful entrepreneur. Learn more and connect at entre.csusb.edu.
Welcome back, everyone. Yvette Walker with ABC News and Talk, Southern California Business Report, here today with Amy Scruggs, known in the country music industry for more than 15 years and has opened for many artists, including Clint Black, Trace Adkins, Charlie Daniels, Phil Vassar, Little Texas, and many more. Today we will be hearing her new single released in 2022, What If It All Goes Right? Played on the radio worldwide and number 66 on the Music Road charts, was selected for the New York Times Summer 22 Best Playlist. Thank you so much for being with us here today, Amy.
Oh, this has been so much fun. Let's keep doing this.
I love it. Yes.
I love it.
Prior to the break, you talked about kind of your journey, how you were able to maintain that positive mindset to have yourself and your 4 kids in tow performing during, the recession and making it happen. And then coming across What If It All Goes Right, just after the pandemic or during the pandemic, and really creating an anthem for what was happening at the moment. How did it feel to see your son grow and thrive within your musical journey together?
Wow, that still, it tears me up. And there's been times on stage that I have to not look at him because then mama turns on and I want to start crying as I see him in front of our audiences. And I have to go, nope, don't look at that. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. Because I had Ryan very young. And it started out he and I got the what if downing. I mean, those close said, what are you going to do? How are you going to do this? How are you going to raise him? I was 18 years old. What if, what if, what if, what if? And that same little miracle turns into being such an important component of what I was called to be and do. He was created with his own talents that melded next to mine. And next thing you know, it's about the two of us. And we felt like we were the reverse Judds because that was mother-daughter. And here we had mother-son.
Mother-son.
To watch him grow. And there were times I had to let him figure something out. There was a time that we were on tour, and I'm going to make a really long story short, but we definitely had some kerfunkles take place as far as bookings, and we were already out in the middle of the US and had some changes made by the venues we were supposed to go to next, which meant there was going to be a gap that we couldn't afford to have in the days we were supposed to go right to the next city. So Ryan had to drive the drummer home from Colorado to Bakersfield and be back within 72 hours. And he was 18 years old by himself with the truck and trailer and left me in Colorado with the rest of them. And I had to wait for him to come back. And when he left, it was like straight out of a movie. Here's my 18-year-old son who's leaving in the middle of the night, in the middle of a thunderstorm, and he needs to get there and back for the rest of us. And as the leader of the band and what he was doing, he had to do it. That was what he had to do as a team member. But I was a mom, and I watched my son drive away, and we still joke about this today because in my heart, that was it. He was dead. I was never going to see him again. That was it. This was going to end up in the book. It was really a traumatic moment, and there were different times that we'd get knocked down, drag out. No, it's got to be this, got to be that. Or he'd forget the keys to something and we would need him for the trailer. And, he was just an 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid doing 19-year-old stupid boy stuff, right? But I needed him to be perfect all the time because here we were trying to run this. And so we learned real quick how to give each other some grace. And I think that's why our relationship to this day is still strong. We can tell each other exactly how we feel at the same time that we can really tell each other how we feel. And there's that difference. And you know what I mean by both of those things. And that's what we really learned. And I think it made me a stronger mother and a better mother for the other 3. And I feel bad because I know Ryan took some of the lessons I had to learn as a mother because I was being an entrepreneur and a mother at the same time. But watching him grow and thrive, watching his talent, when you saw us perform that night this year when we were performing in Orange County, I think you could see the pride on my face. Because when I sit there with him now, it's really no longer about my performance or my vocals. I know I'm going to forget the words. I'm 50. This is what happens. But I watch him and his talent and his precision that just keeps getting better and better. And it's just awe-inspiring. And I love just seeing him as a human and then remembering he's my son.
I love that. So beautiful. Listening to this as a mother of 3 myself, and viewing the experiences that you have through your lens, it just gives me chills, and it makes me so happy and so excited for that opportunity to experience that and to develop that bond. It's absolutely beautiful. So please share with us, Amy, what is the most meaningful feedback or praise that you've received from your fans as a result of your performances and this chart-topping song, What If It All Goes Right?
There's a moment that happened, and this was before What If It All Goes Right, but it's a moment I will never forget. We had been out doing a lot of work with the military and veteran. We had done a lot of yellow ribbon events. I was traveling around on orders with the Army as we were doing the reintegration programs and performing and being there as a community member representing AMVETS. And then we had the opportunity to perform the House of Blues when it was still at Disneyland over there. It's where it was at the time. And we were so excited, and we were doing this amazing show, opening for Phil Vassar for the second time at the House of Blues. And I finished one of our rockin' songs. Don't even ask me which one it was. It might have been Wanted, Dead or Alive. I don't even know. But when we finished and everybody was cheering, I heard a voice from the crowd, and I couldn't see because of all the bright lights on me, but I heard a voice say, "Amy, yellow ribbon, thank you." And I knew that was one of those soldiers out there who knew us from serving, who knew us from what we were really passionate about. And that was it right there. Because that wasn't about the big stage or House of Blues or anything else, but there's someone who knows our why. There's someone that knows we love going out and being a blessing, and we love doing this. And it was just so neat to have one of our soldiers know who we were for a whole different reason. That was one of the most special feedback and moments I've had for that.
I love it. Sounds like another full circle moment, right? After all of that touring, after all of those performances, after all of that growth alongside your children and your son, particularly, to hear that at that moment on the big stage, like you said, with the lights on, but bringing it all back into focus as to why. Gosh, that is amazing. I'm getting chills.
Yes. The second coolest moment was the 10-year anniversary of 9/11 at Dodger Stadium. The Army Recruiting Battalion had asked the Dodgers if it could be me that performed the anthem for that honoring night of the 10-year anniversary. And so I was there to sing the national anthem, televised. They had all branches of service out there. But my young daughter at the time was 6. And I asked them, I said, listen, my son has been the one to stand alongside me at every show. And this, because it's a cappella, it's just me. Can she stand next to me? Can she have the honor of being the one next to me this time? And they said yes. And so my little girl at 6 years old stood next to me on home plate at Dodger Stadium. And without even being told, when they presented arms, she put her hand over her heart. She had been to so many military and veteran events, she wasn't even scared. She stood right next to me and honored our heroes. And all cameras at that point went on her and not on me. And I had to not look because I was going to lose it. And I still had to perform the hardest song on the planet to sing. And we have a picture of that framed in her room still to this day.
Goodness.
So these moments that I've had that are the two most special to me actually involved 2 of my children. And I just think that's so cool.
That is amazing. What a blessing, really. What a blessing to have the opportunity to make those incredible memories and moments with your children. I'm sure they're never, ever, ever going to forget it. And I'm sure, served them beautifully in their life and just made their love for you that much greater. So, Amy, please share, what is the common theme, if any, when we listen to your music?
If you go to Spotify, please, I'm asking you all, go to Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, Apple Music, wherever you enjoy your music. And you're going to hear the EP that we just did in 2022. And I love it. I could describe it this way. My producer, Fred Mullen, when we were on the song search and those 1,000 songs were being thrown at us, right? We were doing some virtual meetings with publishers, and he would speak for me because I love that. And he said, listen, she is a mature artist. I don't want any trucks, any beer, or any tattoos. I want music that represents who this woman is. And that's what you're going to hear when you go to my playlist. You're going to hear my other song called Fly that was for my kids. I hope you fly. And I'm just about letting them go, saying it's going to be hard to watch you leave, but I can't wait to see how far you go. And I filmed that music video at the high school, my daughter's senior year, right before she graduated, that same little girl that was at Dodger Stadium. And then I have another song, Something to Believe In, that's about thanking someone. It could be a teacher, a parent, a friend, a sister, a brother, anybody who says, you're someone that came in my life and believed in me and got me through, and I'm better because of you. And then another one is Love Another Day. That we have the blessing each day when we wake up to say, I get to love another day, not just live another day, but love another day. And then the other song is just a sweet love song called Hold My Hand. And I just wanted to represent positivity and maturity, and yet still just bring joy to people when they listen to our music. Now, of course, the live show, we do Wanted Dead or Alive and Ghostriders, and I rock it out. But when it came to recordings, it needed to represent who I am.
I love it. Yes, because when I saw you perform with Ryan, you were rocking it out. You were singing that Ghostwriter song, and everyone in the room was just in it. It was spectacular. It was great. We loved it. Yes. So, Amy, what advice would you give to aspiring country music artists, especially mothers looking to pursue their passion?
Take the limits off. Do not let anyone tell you you're too old or you don't have enough experience, you don't know what you're doing. I persevered. I mean, even for my first opening for Clint Black was because I drove to the venue that was going to be having him for that 4th of July concert in Arizona back in 2008. And I asked to meet with the marketing manager and said, I want to open that show. And it was interesting that I even got a call 2 months later that said that person left a Post-it note on my paper marketing packet. This was prior to digital marketing, my friends. I left a yellow envelope with my marketing package in it, and it said, she's tenacious. Let her open for Clint Black. Sometimes we've got to go ask. Yes. Sometimes we have to go grab what we want. If they had said no, okay, they said no. But oh my God, they said yes. And do you know how that changed the entire trajectory of my music career? The doors that opened? I'll take that one yes, and I'll not worry about the 20 no's that came before it, because the yes is beautiful. When we take off those limits and say, I'm not too old. When I had the opportunity to go back to Nashville during COVID, pushing 50 years old, I didn't say, no, I'm too old. That I should have just done it in my 30s and it's too late. It is never too late. I will take on something new. I've written a book since COVID. I'm thinking about maybe pursuing more of my education again. I have a coaching business. I've hosted TV. I'm never afraid to try something new and add more experiences to that palette. And as you have heard, I have 4 kids. So it didn't stop me, but they became a part of it. And I feel it made me a better mother, a better human. And I've shown them that they can pursue, that it's not just you find one career when you're 20 and you graduate college and now you're stuck in that. We're never stuck in anything. We can recreate ourselves over and over again anytime we want to.
And that's what I love about your story and your attitude and your outlook and perspective, because in today's world, especially, we have to be dynamic, we have to be nimble, and we have to, be ready to pursue the opportunities that are before us versus, kind of waiting and sitting back for something we feel comfortable in, right? So one of my favorite quotes is, if it feels uncomfortable, do it, right?
Yes.
Because that's where the most growth occurs.
Yes. I've never been comfortable a day in my life. I live in uncomfortable, and so that's just my normal. The more uncomfortable I get, the more I know that's probably nudging me in the direction I'm supposed to be going. And it happens all the time. I mean, I fire myself every morning, and then I rehire myself in the afternoon because I had that uncomfortable, and I realized, no, that's right where I'm supposed to be. This is how I function. And that's not to say that's for everyone, but we can always choose to continue growing. Never stay stuck in our mindsets, in our health, in our mental and emotional wellness, in our learning, in our careers. We want to grow because we only have this short life. Mm-hmm. And we want to say that we tried those things. I've tried scuba diving once. I will not do it again, but I tried it once. I mean, there are things that I just can say, okay, yeah, I gave that a try. Now I'm trying to relax a little bit. That's unusual for me. I'm trying it. I'm seeing how it works.
Well, don't relax too much because we want to see you come out with more music, perform more venues, and just share your love and heart with everyone. So, Amy, please share your favorite memory of your time on the road with your son, on the road or during a performance. Please share what your favorite memory is.
You want the funny one? Because this is the best. Here it is. Colorado, 2009. We were playing at a fair there for 3 days. We were the last performer of the night, and it was the day that they had also had the Pro Bowl riding. So we finished out. They had a trailer for us, a golf cart for us. They took very good care of us at this particular fairgrounds in Colorado. And so we were finishing up for the night, and we're the last ones to drive off when my son and my other band member said, "Hey, you ever seen a bull up close?" And I said, "Don't do it. You guys, just don't do it." So my daughter in the car seat and I waited in the Suburban while the others went up to see the bull up close. Now, this was the time of flip phones still. So this was not the time that this could have been posted on Instagram or social media or anything of that nature. They had to take a picture with a flip phone. They were gone for a while. They came back and they were so proud of themselves that they had a picture of the prized white bull on their flip phone. Fast forward the next morning, I'm at the fairgrounds early because my daughter wanted to ride the ponies. The director came up and greeted me, and he said, "Yeah, we've had a rough morning. We woke up this morning to the white bull dead in the pen." I called a quick band meeting and said, "What did you guys do?" To this day, they said they just took a picture and walked away, but the bull died. So we won't go back to Colorado and no one to this day ever knows what really happened to the bull, but you can't make that stuff up. That is our best road story is, yeah, there was a dead bull.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what they did.
So talk about what you are most involved in now and how you look to pursue your musical career in the future.
Well, I'm so thankful and proud to be a Rotarian. As we mentioned earlier, I'm very involved with Rotary International, and I speak at a lot of Rotary clubs and leadership meetings throughout California and beyond and into half of the US. And what I love is that the theme of What If It All Goes Right really fits perfectly with Rotarians, as they are service above self and making a difference in the world. And so I've been able to perform at a lot of Rotary events on top of the other private appearances that I get called to do. And I just absolutely love my position doing that. I'm on the board of 4 other nonprofits as well. I have my own nonprofit, Voice for Heroes, and I help others really craft their message and not be afraid to go out there and ask for what they need, especially if they're serving the community. And so my music and my passion for my music integrates with really helping incredible thought leaders and community leaders on helping get their message out there. And it just pairs, it couldn't pair perfectly. To be able to speak and sing is a dream come true for me.
I love it. I love it. So please talk about, your fans and how you prefer to stay connected with them. Do you use social media channels? Tell us how you enjoy staying connected with them?
I really do have fun on social. If you follow me on Instagram, you're not going to just see Business Amy or Music Amy. You're going to see me having a really great time. I love creating the fun reels or just showcasing some thoughtful messages, me interacting with the kids in life, in the kitchen, in music, in business, and all of the different things. And I'm very interactive in the DMs. So on my Facebook, on my Instagram, my LinkedIn, I'm very interactive with those that I meet. I really enjoy building true relationships. And when you bring up fans, for me, I think of just friends. There are still some amazing individuals in my life that have been loving my music or following me since 2008, since that Clint Black concert. We are still friends. One of them commented this morning and just said, "I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. Merry Christmas." And so many soldiers and military families throughout the years that have blessed my life. And I don't call them fans. They're just friends. And I hope to continue building relationships like that as I continue.
I love it. Well, Amy, the moment has come when we are all going to hear your beautiful song, What If It All Goes Right? We're going to close out this year on a positive note and enter 2024 with an optimistic heart and mind with this song, What If It All Goes Right?
What if if that road that you're taking's a dead end? What if love leaves you all jaded and broken? What if that limb breaks your climbing out on? Yeah, what if it all goes wrong? But what if it all goes right? What if it all works out? What if the stars line up and good luck rains down? What if you chase your dream and it changes your whole life? Yeah, what if it all goes right? What if that road is a beautiful slow drive? What if that love ends up lasting a lifetime? What if that limb holds you oak tree strong? What if this time nothing goes wrong? What if it all goes right? What if it all works out? What if the stars line up and good luck rains down? What if you chase your dream and it changes your whole life? Yeah, what if it all goes right? What if you jump on a trampoline and touch the sky? Grab a cloud as it passes by. You might fall, but then again, you might What if it all goes right? What if it all works out? What if the stars line up and good luck rains down? What if you chase your dream and it changes your whole life? Yeah, what if it all goes right? What if it all goes right?
All right, everybody listening, you heard it. What if it all goes right? For everybody listening today, don't forget to find us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Check us out on scbrtalk.com. Don't miss my interview with Senator Mike Morrell talking about his recently published book, The Road to Restoring the Family, Leaving an Inheritance to Our Children's Children, inspired by Proverbs 13:22. The road back to restoring the family is Morrell's message to his children, as well as to other families out there, of important facts and advice that are sure to help spiritually, morally, financially, educationally, and responsibly. Next week, we will have Aquanetta Warren, elected as mayor in December of 2010 and overwhelmingly reelected in 2014 and 2018. Aquanetta Warren is serving her third term as mayor of the city of Fontana. Mayor Warren focuses her administration on bolstering economic development, creating educational opportunities, and advocating for a healthier community. You do not want to miss it. We will see you all next week, and a happy new year to all. Thank you so much, Amy.